discuss with other cases I've seen her being involved in as well. I have no issue that way.
I don't agree about that.
It's fine. But I'd be willing to sit with you and do it if you want to, Mike. There's no problem that way. The reality of it is we can just sit and deal with the issue here, just as easy.
I'd rather deal with this yesterday in court.
Hey, staff, how are you? Fine,
All right.
remember, sec? I understand Mike here wanted to see what Terry Lynn had to say. Mike, Terry Lynn's still speaking to my partner, okay? This is a girl you killed, all right? She's not missing anymore. She's dead.
Like, would you consider her your girlfriend, or?
My girlfriend?
Yeah. No. Like, has there been anything between you and Terry Lynn intimately at all?
We're friends.
Just friends?
Okay. So.
Have you watched the video?
Yeah, I saw it on TV.
Okay. What did you think watching that video? Did you recognize anyone at all?
No, I didn't recognize anyone, no.
Have you ever observed Terry Lynn wearing any type of certain jackets at all? White jackets?
I've seen her, like, she has a long, dressy white one, I think.
Yeah.
She has a long, dressy black one.
Yeah.
Those are the only two coats that I know. Like, one, they sway in the wind as she walks.
Do you recall around the 8th of April, then, what you were doing that day? That Wednesday?
I don't know what I was doing. I mean, most of the time I'm just zipping around town or something. That's about it.
Magnolia town was humming, smoke lay on the ground. Yeah, Magnolia town was humming, smoke lay on the ground. Ain't no face I recognize, and my baby can't.
Grab a chair. That'll unfold, so that's a blanket for you there. Okay. Tea. I think they might have only put one sugar in. I think they got it mixed up. And there's a plain donut there for you. I had a cereal bar, but if you get hungry or anything else, just let me know, okay? Do you have any...
I've eaten since noon.
You haven't eaten since noon? Okay. Are you hungry now? I can get you a full meal if you want.
Yes, okay.
Like bacon and eggs, or do you want something
I think
else?
I'm too sick to talk.
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
That's okay. You can listen. And if you have any questions as we go along.
Did he just offer him bacon and eggs?
Okay. Do you have any...
I've eaten since noon.
You haven't eaten since noon? Okay. Are you hungry now? I can get you a full meal if you want.
Yes, okay.
Like bacon and eggs, or do you want something
I think
else?
I'm too sick to talk.
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
That's okay. You can listen. And if you have any questions as we go along, there's no issues there at all, okay?
Okay.
I got a few things I'll talk to you about. As I told you, my name is Chris. My last name is Lone. I understand your name is Michael. Now, do you go by Mike or Michael? What's your preference?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. I'll probably call you Mike, so unless that really offends you, just leave it with me. Now, you should have any problems with my name because your middle name...
Daryl, I know, right? Bacon and eggs? Do you want bacon and eggs? How about French toast? With bacon and maple syrup. We're heading to Canada today, guys. They have horrible, violent crime there too, no matter how friendly they may seem. You know. Certainly the cop does. This cop is the model Canadian. That's the main reason I want to watch this interrogation, is the cop, and not for his flashy tactics, but for his solid Canadianness. I mean, It takes the good cop, bad cop routine to a whole new level. We just saw Agent Jim Smith come in there, right? Very different tone from Agent Smith compared to the Russell Williams interrogation. But this Canadian right here, Chris, is about the friendliest man. He's just offered the murder suspect bacon and eggs. The food thing goes on for a while. Actually, it becomes this sort of running theme. And what ends up happening, I'm going to spoil the end now, but what ends up happening is the murder suspect, Michael Rafferty, doesn't want to accept food. He's worried how that will look on the report. He's like, will that go in any of your reports that I ate? So you can say to the judge, oh, he wasn't too upset not to eat, was he? And then right at the end, Michael Rafferty caves and says, yes, I do need something to eat. I haven't eaten since noon. What a baby. I could go for 3 days. No problem. Yeah, he caves and says, yes, I do need something to eat. And the guy goes out and never comes back. It's beautiful. That's a taste of things to come.
Real name's is Christopher, so I know you'll have no
Spacey Dove, hello.
no issues with remembering my name. How come you got more than one middle name, do you know?
I don't know. It's my uncles and my grandfather.
I got 3 middle names as well. And that's because my parents thought I was going to be an only child, so they named me after everybody. So I got named after a grandfather and 2 uncles. So I know what you're going through there, because my initials I get teased about. But I got to go over a few things here today. Okay, Mike? Like I say,
I'm dying to know what his initials are. Are they all the same letter? 5 A's. Would you just sign here and initial here? A. You gotta be shitting me.
don't be shy. You'll find I'm pretty relaxed, pretty laid back, because I've dealt with these types of issues before. Okay. I know that earlier tonight that you've had an
Pie bird, boom.
opportunity to have your rights read to you, which you understood, and you understand your caution. You don't have to say anything, okay, to me or any other police officers. And you had an opportunity to speak with the lawyers. So there's no issues for any of that. Now, having said that, though, anytime that you have a question, all right, don't be shy. Now, I have no issues getting you any food there. So if there's something that you want, okay, I'll get you some food. There's no problems at all. Like I say, I get that for you in about 5 minutes. So, but my job is, as I mentioned to you earlier, I'm from what's called the behavioral sciences section, and we're talking about the
behavioral sciences section. What a beauty. The OPP. Their behavior sciences. Everyone talks about their behavior sciences. Why are they so good? Why do they put every other country in the world to shame? I mean, they're puppet masters. Every big case that we see, they're brilliant. Jennifer Pan, Russell Williams, Michael Rafferty. The list goes on.
The missing person when Tori Stafford went missing. And I know you were following a little bit in the media, and you'd follow some little bits and pieces that there was behavioral sciences people involved, right? And sometimes they were criminal profilers. There's been other members in there as well. Threat assessment, and that's what one of my roles is as well. In threat assessment, what my job is to determine the risk. Okay, what's the risk of a certain situation? Now, the situation that we're talking about, you're going to find here that there's nothing you're going to tell me to surprise me, okay, for 2 reasons. One, I've heard a lot of this stuff before. The second reason is I'm fortunate enough to know what all the case facts are, okay? So what I have to do is assess what I perceive is a threat. So are you going to go out and kill more people after this situation is done, okay? That's what my job is, to assess threat level, all right? I already know you're responsible for one death, okay? So that's what my job is to determine, okay, what's happened here, all right? We're in a situation there now where the investigators have been to the Home Depot in Guelph, okay, and they've been to the scene the other side of Guelph, okay, where Tori is. So I'm aware of that stuff. I'm aware of what happened leading up to her disappearance, and obviously you are following.
Yeah, Jennifer Pan, we got to do that one. A professional liar. A professional liar that was worth nothing against the OPP Behavioral Sciences Unit.
Following it in the media as well to see, obviously, the composite of the girl that was involved with you in this, and also the pictures of the vehicles. And I know, I got to look at it from your standpoint as well. It's human nature, right? I mean, you see that the police aren't advertising they're looking for a male subject, and they're not advertising they're looking for this gray Honda, right? And they show this van, and the reality of it is your vehicle is on the video before that van is anyway. So your vehicle's connected to this through video right from the beginning, okay? And I know it's a pretty good feeling to be involved in something like this and the police don't come near you for over a month.
Yeah, but Detective, a lot of Hondas have that custom spoiler and special rims. The exact same dents as my Honda. They're very common.
Right? Police don't talk to you till May 15th. It's the first time that they come around. So you were feeling pretty comfortable for a little while, okay? So
it's quite funny how both his shirt and his little security blanket there are both this, you know, what is that, pastel, you know, pastel color? I hate that. Pastel color, anything sucks.
those are the things that I have to look at. But before we go through all that, though, my people just don't wake up one day and decide this is going to happen, and I know that. All right. So there's a lot of ideas that go in people's heads at the time, and if I go through and I go through your history and your background, there's not a whole hell of a lot you've been involved in life, is there? Right? You're completely under the radar. Okay, you've flown completely under the radar your whole life. I think you're involved in some vehicle thefts and stuff, breaking in some vehicles years ago, right? When you were a kid. And we've all done stupid stuff.
Never done any of that.
I can't look you in the face and say I haven't done it. Well, you already told an officer that you did that, right? That you
No,
broke into some
I didn't
cars.
say that's what I did.
What did you say?
I said we went into cars that were unlocked and took things out of them, and that was it.
Okay, I used the term break-in, okay? Now, the reason I say that is back when I was a detective, when you go into a car or a house where there's locked or unlocked, that's a break-in, okay? Because you're not supposed to be in there. So that's where that terminology came from, okay, Mike? But anyways, I'm going to go through a few things with you here, all right? Obviously, you're upset by what's going on. You're here for a reason. And right back at the beginning, the investigators and the case manager, the officer in charge, said that I'm going to follow the evidence and go where the evidence leads me. Okay? And now you're here because the evidence has led the investigators to you. All right? And then I get involved after that. There's been people that I work with in behavioral sciences that have been here from the outset of the investigation. But really, at this point in time, I mean, when I go in and look at your history, there's very little on there.
I call this guy the dam buster because his tactic, I mean, I swear he's like a hobbyist hypnotist, right? Because his tactic is just to talk in the same droning tone on and on and on, and just like this constant torrent of running water, right? Slow but steady. Gently increasing pressure until the dam explodes.
Like I say, you've flown under the radar. You haven't had any major problems with the police, okay? But now all of a sudden you're involved in this situation, and it's a serious situation, and it's a scary situation. I'm sure you're quite upset and quite concerned about what's going on here. All right. Now the last one I was involved with like this, I don't know if you're aware of it, was a girl named Holly Jones in Toronto when she went missing. And the guy that had abducted her, his name was Michael Rafferty. And what he was doing is he was watching on his computer for hours and hours and hours. He was looking at child porn to the point that he decides, I want to go try this. And he goes and he grabs Holly and he does some things to her, and then he realizes, what am I going to do? Okay? And he panics. He doesn't know what to do because she's a witness now. And he says, if I just let her go, she's going to tell on me. So he decides that he's not going to let her go. All right? And all that was from something as simple as watching child pornography for hours on end. These things happen, okay? And we can't say it happened close to home. Toronto's not that far from you, okay? These things happen all the time, all right? So what I need to do is sit with you. I already know how. I know the who's, right? Why? I mean, why is up to you, but I can actually probably fill in that blank for you, but that's not what my role here is. If I'm going to assess risk here and see, number one, do you even feel bad about what you've done? That's the first thing I look for. And number two, do I think, okay, he doesn't feel bad, so an attorney's probably going to do this again because he really doesn't care about it the first time it's happened, okay? But I also know that you've probably made some other choices in life into who you associate with, right? We've all done that. I mean, we've all brought home a girlfriend or a boyfriend or something that people aren't going to approve of, and we've all had friends that our family's not going to approve of. I've done that. We all have, okay? So that's what we have to sit and look at here. But it's one of those things that, like I say, I'm not at all upset with you. I'm not mad at you. I don't mind sitting here talking with you. You'll know if I don't want to talk to you because I'll just simply leave, right? And I have no issues with that. But at the same time, you and I need to have open communication. Like, I appreciate you clarifying with me when I comment about.
I feel like there should be a sculptor that would recreate exactly his posture with the yellow blanket and everything and put it in a museum and label it. What would you label it? Just that figure on a plinth. The broken pancake.
Breaking, okay, because I have to make sure that you understand the terminology I use, and I have to understand the terminology that you're using as well. Now, as I go through this, like I say, there'll be a few things that I may cover off that you may say, well, I don't understand that. But having said that, from reading about you, this to me seems like it's out of character. Now, I could be wrong, right? You may have been planning this for a long period of time, and you may have thoroughly enjoyed this. And if I'm wrong, then you tell me that, all right? But I also know that we all make mistakes, okay? And that's why pencils have erasers, okay? Because we all make mistakes. It's that simple. Spending time with you here, and if I'm wrong, you tell me. But it looks like if you could turn back time, maybe there's a few decisions in life you'd have made a little bit different, all right? If I could turn back time for you, Mike, I would. But it's not that simple, okay? So now you and I have to sit here and face what's happened, okay? I can sit and tell you what happened. I can take you through the day of her disappearance, okay? I mean, I've seen the video, all right? And I know that you didn't do this alone. And but at the end of the day, we got to deal with this situation, okay? Because it's a young girl that we got to talk about. And if you and I don't sit and talk about your side, then people will only think the worst. Right? It's human nature, right? You've done it and I've done it. We always think the worst until we know the facts, okay? So that's what you and I need to sit here and work and discuss and work through. Again, if I'm wrong, you tell me, okay? But I really believe if you could turn back time, you would deal with this a little bit different, okay? And there may have been a rush, it may have been exciting for a period of time, but then reality sets in, and you have to sit and live with the fact of what's happened here, okay? And that's what we're doing here. We have to sit and deal with what's happened. Now, I can take you to any point in that day when Tori goes missing, from the time she goes missing to the time things get out of hand, all right? And I can outline that to you. And I can outline some of the what's called post-offense behavior. So after the offense, some of the behavior that happened there, getting rid of some of the evidence and things like that, okay? Your vehicle's been seized, and there's been some steps you've taken to kind of mask or get rid of some of that evidence. You may be successful in some ways, but you won't be successful getting rid of all the evidence and all the DNA, because there's not a cleanser out there that'll do that. And I've sat with dozens of people that have tried, okay? There's no magical stain remover out there to get rid of DNA. So really at this point, what you have left is your word and your credibility. And people always think the worst, okay? Until they know the truth. You do it and I do it. It's human nature. So we're all going to think the worst until we know why this has happened in your mind. And again, if it's something where you're like Michael Briere, where you looked at a lot of child porn and then decided you were going to try it, then that's fine. If it wasn't your idea, then that's fine too. But we can't change what the case facts are. All right? Is there anything that I've said other than that break-in thing that I've got wrong at this point in time?
I'm not
Because
gonna
I'm
say if
breaking
it's
it
wrong
down.
or right.
That's fine. You don't have to say if it's wrong or right, okay? But you know deep down that it is. And you know deep down that this is your chance to get it off your chest. You're not sitting there the rest of your life saying, I guess I should have said something. All right? I guess I should have got it off my chest and said my side. Because this is your last chance to do it. The fact that you're here and the fact that they've already, they know where the victim is, okay? And they know your steps. This is it. Do you watch Ultimate Fighting at all?
No.
You don't watch it? Okay.
What do you think about the, what is it? Grand Valley Institution for Women, where Terry McClintock went as an alternative, as a low security alternative for prison. She went to a reservation prison for Indians, indigenous. I mean, what was her grounds for going there? Watching Pocahontas, knowing all the words to Colors of the Wind. I could get into that. Yeah, not bad, huh? But I don't. I think they put her back in a real prison after they realized that she wasn't tribal.
You have to take the steps now to live the rest of your life, okay? This is what you have to do. You and I need to talk about this, okay? So I've got to determine, as part of my job, when all is said and done here, do I think Mike's done? This is it. He's made his mistake. He realizes how wrong the mistake that he made, and he's willing to look past it? Or do I have to sit here and say,
Hold up, David Anderson Kirk, how you doing? Glad you're alive. People have been asking me, where is that guy? Is he okay? If that is really you, it could be just someone using your account. Your assailant. Your killer. Proof of life? Not yet. By the way, what do you think of our new... I just tested out this thing in like 5 minutes. Where is it?
all right, my report's going to say very simple. I think this guy's going to reoffend. I think this guy is going to kill.
Isn't that for courts to decide if I've even done it or not?
The courts will decide if what your role is in this particular case. My role is to write a report for the court to determine what I think your risk level is. And that's there's other reports that my units write as well. And that's what our job is. We deal with these types of situations and the reasons why people do this stuff, okay? Like I say, this may have been a thing that you just snapped and did something. That stuff happens. Or it may have been something you planned for many months and got some enjoyment out of the plan.
I didn't do anything.
Well, that's not entirely true either.
That is entirely true.
No.
Well, you sure look like you did something. You know, as far as body language goes, I'm not picking up wrongly accused. I don't know if we need to call the behavior panel. Maybe they would see something I don't. Yes, the furrow of his brow. That's innocence.
I didn't do anything.
No, you can try and cement yourself into that, okay? But at the same time, you're not doing yourself any good by not being truthful here, okay? Because by not being truthful, all you have left is your credibility, Mike. That's all you have left, okay?
Credibility? What credibility? That's gone. I can't even say what he did. The channel will probably be taken down. But I imagine that most people know because it's a pretty famous interrogation. Yeah, credibility. What do you think? Would anyone, ask this guy to babysit? Would anyone lend this guy $5? Please, I just need to get the bus to visit my mother in hospital. I'm a good guy. I'll wire you the money.
You're not the only person who's been arrested and charged, okay? And there's no surprises left anymore, okay? It's not even a surprise, it's why this happened.
I'm also not the only innocent person who's ever been arrested and charged.
Well, and that's true. There's been people that have been arrested for things where there's no evidence, but unfortunately in this case there's lots of evidence to determine your role in this crime, okay? Even the steps that you've taken to try and eliminate your involvement, okay? Clearly, I guess maybe I should explain the evidence a little bit more. Maybe that's my mistake, but because I'm so comfortable in the facts and that I've dealt with all this, maybe I should put you at ease a little bit more. But the reality of it is, as I mentioned earlier, your vehicle's seen on the video, okay? The girl who's on the video who walks away with Tori has been identified, and she's been identified as her and Tori being in your car. And the three of you and her and Tori, go to the Guelph area, go to the Home Depot, okay? And the grabbing of Tori, there was a planned event that you were going to grab her. You're going to grab a girl, but this other person was going to do it, and the other person got the girl, put her in your car, all right? And then there's other steps that are taken from there, okay? There's things that happen at Home Depot. There's things that happen outside of Guelph. And there's things that happen to Tori, all right, before she's gone. And you're involved in that, and you can't mask that. You can't change it, okay?
No.
Because what's happened has happened. I can't turn back the hands of time, and neither can you, okay? There's nothing I can do to turn back the hands of time and say, I wish Mike would have reacted to this situation a little bit differently, okay? There's been tips come in on you sooner than recently. There's been a few tips. There's been a few people that have mentioned your name in the past. And when all these tips are put together, then the ball starts rolling. And then the fact that when they dissect these tapes, and they also go in both directions of the tape. They go before they see Tori, and they go after they see Tori. And lo and behold, there's your car, all right? And that starts it as well. So there's, and then after, and I don't know if you're aware of it, how much media attention was given, but then they start collecting the videos from the highway, right, to see which vehicles went where. So the video is going to play a very key role. Videotapes to evidence will play a very key role in this investigation in determining what happened, because there's cameras everywhere, right? The average Canadian is on camera 8 times a day, whether we go to a gas station, whether we go to Tim Hortons, or we drive through a light that has a camera. Certain communities have cameras, certain weather stations have cameras, or news stations. So we will go through as Canadians a minimum of 8 cameras a day. So you go through cameras, as have I. We've all done that. There's no questioning that we've all seen these cameras or been on these cameras. But there's no doubt in my mind, okay? There's no doubt in my mind that you're involved in the abduction, okay, of Tori. No doubt in my mind at all. I've followed the evidence. I've read the file, okay? There's no doubt in my mind. We're past that, okay? And the only concern or the issue that I have is why you did this. What caused you to do this?
Yeah, retro AI unleashed. The case of Alec Minassian. That was the guy that drove a U-Haul van up on the sidewalk on Yonge Street, Toronto, and killed. I mean, I felt kind of a bit sorry for him because he's so fucking autistic that I don't even think he really got what he did. He's just in there going, what's that guy, the Asian-looking guy, king of the incels? what's his name? Elliot Raja, right? He's sitting in the interrogation, the Alec, what is it? Manassian guy. And he's just like, no, there's Chads and Stacys. And the Chads want to fuck the Stacys. And then the normies, it's just like, what are you talking about? Yeah, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should cut that into this. It'll just be a Canadian special. All the best. Although, who mentions the Dexter wannabe guy? Because I've always had to steer clear of that because I've just... someone tried to show me Dexter once and they said, you have got to see this. It is so fucking good. And I was like, is it? And then I watched it and I hated it and I never watched it again. Even so bad that there's a good movie called Cold Day in July. Cold Day in July. And that's a great movie, but it was ruined for me because the guy who played Dexter is in it. That's how much I hated Dexter. So I haven't been able to do the Canadian case where it's the Dexter wannabe. just can't do it.
Is it something you, like you say, is this something you've done before and you've been involved in the death of other people and you enjoyed this? Am I sitting across the desk from Paul Bernardo here? Am I sitting across from someone who's made a mistake? Okay? And that's going to be the question that's asked of you. All right? I'll get you a bucket there just a second. You gotta get sick, pull your boots there.
What a fucking drama queen. What's he gonna throw up if he hasn't eaten since noon? He turned down the bacon and eggs.
Okay? I've seen it before. You're not gonna offend me or bother me. So if you gotta be sick, Mike, go right ahead. Okay? I'll get you some paper towels or something. If you feel like you're gonna be sick, just grab the, I'll have the bucket there handy for you, okay? Just leave it right there. You and I need to have a discussion here. This isn't a parking ticket, okay? This is reality, okay? And people are, I've already told you, you know this. People assume the worst until they know the truth, okay? And people are going to assume the worst of you unless you and I sit here and clarify it. Okay, something's pushed you to do this. Okay, you can't just fly under the radar your entire life. Okay, Mike? It doesn't happen. It's not realistic. Okay? I'm not going to sit and tell you that it happens. Something brings this on. And when you sit and talk to someone who had a troubled life like Michael Briere and just gets pushed into doing this and panics and thinks, what would it be like to take a kid and touch and rub a kid? And then
So Retro AI said, for the record, I am not AI. I am a person who works with AI. Okay. But, you know, now I'm thinking that everyone's AI. Michelle, I'm going to need a proof of life. Are you real? Good evening, Michelle.
and wish you could stop, okay? And people can't, and that's the whole issue here, all right? We can't control every emotion, all right? We can't control some of our urges, some of our thoughts. None of us can, okay? And I can't look you in the face and say I haven't made a mistake or made a bad decision in life, because I have. But the reality of it is, you and I have to accept that and move on, okay? Because I can walk out there and never see you again. Like, I can do that, right? My job here is done. The job here is done, as you'll find out tomorrow, as things start to be released. There is no more questions. There is no more long, drawn-out investigations. They're already sending people home to spend time with their families, okay? They're scaling back what's happened because it's been cleared, and they know what's happened. And the pieces of evidence have been gathered. So that's reality. I can't downplay that. But you and I need to walk out of here together, okay, with what happened here. You and I have to sit and say, this is what pushed Mike over the top. This is what pushed Mike to get involved in something like this. Because if we don't, then you sit here on your own and you have to take it. Okay, and is that necessarily fair? All right?
I have to sit here on my own anyways and take this.
To an extent you do, yes. You have to sit there and decide, am I going to get rid of this and get this off my chest so people understand my side, or am I going to sit there curled up and keep it in for the rest of my life, all right? You need to be realistic about this, okay? You have no battle plan to deal with this, right? It's happened, it's spun out of control, and you're thinking, okay, if I ever get caught for it, what am I gonna do? Well, your plan isn't gonna work, okay? Because you're not built for this shit. This isn't what you're about, okay? You're not some sick bastard, right? That sits there and gets enjoyment out of hurting people, all right? So now you have to live with this, okay? And to live with it, one of the first ways, right, is like if someone's an alcoholic, what's the first thing they have to do? Acknowledge they got the issue, all right? You have an issue here in that there's overwhelming evidence, compelling evidence that indicates you're involved in what's happened to Tori, okay? And I can't change that and you can't change that at this stage. But you need to be honest and you need to understand your credibility, Mike, is all you have left. All you have left from here on in is your credibility. And you sitting here saying nothing doesn't do you a bit of good because no one's going to know. And then all of a sudden, 10 years from now or 5 years from now, you decide to say something, who's going to listen? Nobody, okay? This is your chance to say your piece, all right? The evidence is very clear. I'm only giving you bits and pieces. If I sit here from A to Z and tell you all of it, we'll be here all night, okay? And that's really not my purpose, all right? So you need to understand what's going on, okay? There's evidence to show what happened here, all right? And what caused you to do what you did. That's what's important. What would cause you to get involved in an incident like this, okay? And like I say, you probably were feeling pretty good about yourself for a while because really, like you said, it wasn't until May 15th that the police had been around to see you. And they never said anything about your vehicle being on the video. They released the other vehicle instead, all right? But you know your vehicle's on there. It's plain as day. And like I say, if you want, and you can see probably I'm trying not to out of respect actually for you, but I can sit and get as graphic as I want, okay? Because none of this stuff bothers me because I've seen it hundreds of times, okay? But if I sit and go over what's happened here with Tori, you may not be real happy about it because it's going to cause you to relive all this crap, okay? And maybe you want to, because I can tell you I've sat with guys that wanted me to say it again so they could hear what they've accomplished. And I've had that, where they want me to say it 2 and 3 times because they get a rush out of that. I don't think that's you, okay? You're not some sick guy, okay? I'm not sitting across from Paul Bernardo, okay? I know that, and I know people that have sat across from him, okay? And I know 2 officers that have in different stages of their lives, okay? And I know what he's all about. You're not that guy, all right? But at the same time, you can't just sit here and say, well, I hope this all goes away, right? This isn't like a list your girlfriend gives you to say, here's a list of things to do. Can you go pick up a few things at the grocery store for me and get some gas? This isn't what that is, okay? This is a lot more serious than a to-do list. There's no doubt in my mind, okay, that you've done this.
Chubby Dasmu says the guy abducted a child, did sick things with her, and killed her. Credibility? He's a crying piece of crap. I couldn't agree more, Chubby. Sometimes I think I'm against the death penalty, and then other times I would be absolutely fine with setting a wild pack of dogs on this guy to tear him apart, right? In front of a crowd, baby, okay? A cheering crowd.
To Tori, no doubt in my mind, we're past that, okay? And there's no doubt, to me, I truly believe it's out of character. You can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's out of character.
Yeah, members, that's the best way. That's the way that YouTube loves. What a fucking coincidence, huh? YouTube prefers it if you become a member on their platform. Fascists. There you go. Look, YouTube, I'm sucking the teat. Please become a member, a YouTube Matrix member, today, right now.
But Mike, I can't sit and talk to you and pretend that nothing's happened. okay, I can't turn back time. Okay, you've been involved in this thing. Along the way, there's been some decisions made that I would like to think you would take back. Okay, but again, I believe this is out of character for you. I could be wrong. Like I don't think you feel very good about this. I don't think you feel very good about what happened to this girl. And I'm sure that every day you've had to deal with this stress. All right. Now we need to understand what pushed you to this point. What caused you to do this? Like what would cause you, who's been flying under the radar, you're actually a quite.
Hey, piano, that sounds great. Bacon, eggs, sourdough, huh? Okay. Yeah, I'd love that right now. If somebody brought that to me right now, I love eating breakfast at night.
Popular person. When the investigators talk to people, you're a very well-liked individual. There's not a bunch of people say a lot of bad shit about you, all right? There are some people that report that you might be involved in this, but there's not a lot of people that sitting there saying bad shit about you, all right? So that tells me that you have some people that respect you and some people that like you. But that also tells me, again, that this must be out of character for you, okay? As soon as I sat and talk about people that have been involved in killing more than one person, you get disgusted, okay? You may well be disgusted with me, or you may be disgusted with the thought of the whole thing, okay? But that's not what you want to.
Boom! Thank you so much, Piebird007, for becoming a fabulous True Crime Metrics YouTube member right here on Metrics YouTube. Good job.
Here, you're disgusted by that. What does that tell me? It tells me that you're not the type of person that wants to go and kill a bunch of people, okay? But we need to deal with reality. And the reality of it is your credibility is all you have left at this point. If you sit there and say nothing, everybody's going to assume the worst, okay? And you may be painted with a picture that you're not real happy with, okay? And I'm the only one that feels like sitting in here with you, right? There's no investigators lined up in here sitting with you. Why do you think that is? Right? Because they've been working at this for weeks, okay? They're tired, and they've been away from their families, and none of them want to come in here and talk to you, okay? I have no issue with it. I'm neutral. I don't have these issues. I haven't been away from my family. I don't mind talking to you. Like, I've talked to people that have been involved in things far worse than what they're saying you did here. Far worse, okay? I can sit and list the things that I've been involved in. There are people who have done things that have been a threat to our national security, terrorism in Canada. Or I've dealt with people that have been involved in murdering more than 3 people, all right? I've been involved with people who have abducted and taken the life of children. I've been involved in that. I've dealt with many people who are sex offenders that habitually and repeatedly touch and molest children. I've dealt with that. That stuff doesn't bother me, okay? But what's going on here is that you're just in there, you're just a big bundle of nerves, and you don't know what to do. You don't know whether to sit here, shake, shit, puke.
I quite like to imagine that this detective, if you just take his posture and the words he's saying and his tone and everything, and imagine that he's not in an interrogation room talking to a suspect, but he is on a first date, a blind date, right? And he's talking, I've known about sexual crimes all over the nation. It doesn't bother me. So you're going to go with a fish, or... You know, the date is just staring at him, slowly blinking.
You don't know what to do, but the reality of it is, at the end of the day, the evidence is the evidence, okay? And the evidence clearly shows you're responsible for the abduction of Tori, okay? And I also know that she's no longer with us, okay? And you're responsible for that too, okay? And there's a sexual component to this as well. So you might want to sit and get this off your chest and go through your side with me, all right? Because if I just walk away, at minimum, that's what people are going to think. At minimum, all right?
Or maybe it's the case of, like, even when it's completely out of a criminal investigation context, anytime this guy anytime someone asks this guy a question, like his wife might say, hey, have you fixed the vacuum cleaner like you promised you were going to? He can't answer outside of his business, right? He starts going, well, look, the evidence is the evidence. And, you know, There's no evidence that this vacuum cleaner wasn't involved in a sexual crime.
When we sit and look at Michael Briere, when he was in Toronto.
I don't know these people.
Okay. Well, what happened was Holly Jones was an 11-year-old girl. She's abducted in Toronto. Okay. And there was a big search for her, and her mother was on the news repeatedly pleading for her safety. And what Michael Briere had done, as I had mentioned, is he was watching pornography on the internet. On his internet at home, he kept looking at it. He had this desire as he saw it to get more and more. So then he decides, after watching this for a period of time, that he wants to touch a kid. So he goes out and he finds a kid and brings her into his apartment. And she goes willingly. He talks her into it. In she
Hey Michelle, thank you for your membership.
goes. And he does some sexual things to her. But then he panics because he's thinking, holy crap, she can identify me. She knows where I live. What do I do? Okay, and he causes her death. And later on, it takes a bit of time, but the investigators track him down, and he is arrested because of the evidence. And the first thing he does when he gets on the camera is he looks at the camera and says, I apologize, here's what I did. And he outlines what happened with the pornography, and then he actually outlines, he gives actually some parents some safety tips for their kids. He says, if you don't want your kid to be abducted, here's what you need to do. And he tells them what kids should be doing, okay? And what happened to him? You haven't even heard about him. Why is that? Because he apologized and moved on. That's why you've never heard of him, okay? But you've heard of Paul Bernardo, who didn't apologize, right? Everyone knows who Paul Bernardo is, right? That happened in southwestern Ontario. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows who Carla is, right? And is this a Paul and Carla thing? That's going to be asked, okay? Make no mistake, I'm not making this shit up, okay? I was involved with the Green Ribbon Task Force, which was the Paul and Carla thing in the 90s, okay? I had all kinds of involvement from the time it was unsolved to the time.
And he keeps talking about things that the guy obviously doesn't know anything about. He's like, I was involved in the Blue Ribbon Contest in the early 90s, okay? I know what I'm talking about. Listen, I headed up the investigation into, who was it?
Time it was solved. But no one's ever heard of Michael Briere for the reason I just told you, all right?
Michael Briere.
But they sure as hell know who these other guys are, right? And
No, he
it's the
doesn't.
same. It's the same situation you've been in. If someone, a friend of yours, lies to you, or someone rips you off for $50 or $20, right? And you catch them. You say, "Listen, why did you take my money?" And the guy says, "I didn't take your money," right? You're pretty pissed off with that guy. You know what, Mike? I took your money. I apologize. I was gonna pay you back, but you came and I panicked, so I took your money. You can live with that, all right? But you have some explaining to do. Okay, that's reality. I can't change that, okay? If this is something that got out of control, that you just planned on taking her and you thought you were going to put her back, or just take her for a ride, that's fine. It got out of hand, then we need to talk about that, okay? You need to sit and explain that and say why, okay? If not, then I say people think the worst until they know, all right? That's human nature. You and I have both done that in our lives. If we don't know the facts, all right, people can think the worst, and this is what you have to deal with, okay? This is reality. There's even steps that, things that you've done to your vehicle to try and conceal the crime. Like I say, you just can't, there's no magical stuff that washes away DNA or gets rid of DNA, okay? And keeping in mind, a lot of the stuff that you did is on cameras and other spots, okay? I mean, Home Depot has all kinds of cameras, okay? Parking lots and inside the store, so even if you don't go into the Home Depot store, there's still cameras in the parking lot for security reasons and for thefts and other reasons. So this case primarily is solved through cameras, all right? But also there's other things. I mean, you didn't do this alone, as I've told you. I never told you who was with you, though I know, and I know what her role was in this, okay? And I also know it was your vehicle. But I can sit and write this out. I can draw this thing out from the time Tori is picked up to the time that her end has come. And I can tell you that stuff, all right? What good is it coming from me? The investigators are going to do that, okay? My role is to sit and determine what the hell happened here. What caused you to get involved in something like this? And that's all my role is. And if I walk away saying, I don't know what caused it, then that's the way it goes. Too bad, right? That's just the way it goes. But if I sit with you and determine what happened and how this got off the rails, then you're not sitting there alone, all right? Because you may be a lonely person for a period of time until people understand what the hell happened, okay? And the person that judges you, the people that judge you, will all be people that have made mistakes themselves. But human nature is very simple. We all appreciate when people are honest with us, and when we all admit our mistakes and acknowledge when things get out of hand. There's nothing wrong with that. But then there's also times when we're not tolerant of people that won't be honest in the situation. It's not like I'm not trying to belittle this or make it seem insignificant. I know what I'm asking here. Okay, I know that I'm not asking you to do something easy. I know that. Okay, and I know just because I know the case facts, and I've sat in rooms for many hours with people under circumstances like yours or worse. I'm not trying to downplay it or minimize it or be like some kind of smart ass. But at the same time, you have to understand, not only is there a ring of truth of what I'm saying and a ring of experiences to what I'm saying, because I've been there and been around it, but there is no other way. You don't have any other options. There's nothing else that you can do to change what's happened to her. We can't turn back time. However, we can explain how things got off the rails, whether it was something that happened slowly or just went right off the rails right from the beginning. And it can be as simple as you driving up the highway and think somebody spots you with her in your car, and you make a series of decisions. All right? I mean, that's happened in the past where people have picked someone up and they weren't sure what they were going to do. Somebody saw them, and guess what happens, right? They panic. I can give you another example of that because it was in the news recently. I don't know if you know it. It was a case that was 38 years old. Okay, happened in Northern Ontario, up by North Bay. And the guy was actually living in London. He moved away 38 years after the death of this 12-year-old girl. And through technology and DNA, they were able to solve it. Have you ever even heard of that case? Why? Because the guy said, yeah, he was driving up the road, he took this kid, and as they're driving up the road, he sees a person, he grabs her by the head and pulls her head down the dash of his truck. And someone saw him do it, but didn't know who the person was. And years later, he gets convicted of it. He acknowledges, yeah, you know what? I screwed up. And you've who you told. I haven't even asked you that yet, but if there's stuff, if there's other people here. Is there any other areas that you think I haven't covered, or you think, because I got a bunch of other things I want to talk about? Is there anything that you thought that you and I would talk about in here that we haven't?
What do you think Mr. Rafferty wants to talk about? He's wondering what food might be available, because he knows they've got to feed him at some point. He's thinking, can I get a McDonald's out of this? Can I get a pepperoni pizza from Donatello's? What can I get? I bet he enjoyed that coffee. You know, sometimes a little sip of coffee can just give you enough to hold on to.
Anything at all?
What happens to all my friends?
Pardon me?
What happens to all my friends?
In what way?
The people who I know. The people in my life.
They all testify against you. They've already spoken to police. They said we think it was him.
What?
What happens to them in what way?
Just what happens?
Well, my thoughts are, like I said earlier, Mike, I think they think the worst until they know. That's why I'm asking you this stuff, man. People are gonna think the worst. These are serious allegations. When I talked about what Terry said, I sugarcoated it, right? I can sit and break it down in more intimate details, all right? But we need to deal with that. If there's other people involved, I'm willing to listen. But I gotta tell you, the evidence is very clear right now that this is a you and Terry show, all right? I'm willing to listen if there's others.
You just said there's other people who are implicated, other people who are being charged with this.
If I say charged or arrested. All right? I mean, you may be holding up hope here that there's others who are gonna come in and get the same charges as you. And that might be my fault. And maybe I haven't been clear enough. But as far as the abduction and death of Tori, it's just you and Terry, man. For that specific part. Maybe I should have been more clear on that, okay? And I can say I did sugarcoat, exactly what she said, but it is a lot worse when she says it, so, as to what happened with Tori. And that's, like I say, that's I can sit and give you, like I said, the details of what she's indicated that was done to Tori. And maybe that's my job, maybe I should. But at the same time, I want to treat you with dignity and respect as well. And like I say, that's why I'm interested in what you have to say here, because this thing's out of control. Okay, something happened here. All right, that just isn't quite right. For you to go to 0 to 120 miles an hour like that, something's happened. Okay.
Daphne, good evening.
Don't just start out here going through a car when we're 14 to be involved in the abduction and death of a young girl. Okay. That's not right. So something's caused that, and that's what I've tried to discuss with you here. But maybe I should have been more clear in relation to the disappearance and the death of Tori. It's you and Terry. Okay. There's some outlying issues surrounding this stuff and some drug use and stuff. But for the focus of this girl, it's you and Terry. And she said her piece. So that's why you and I gotta go through your side, so you get a chance to say yours. See, I watched when they spoke to Terry, so I do know what she said. I did watch it, but I wasn't the one that spoke to her. It was one of the other officers on the investigation. But like I said I would come in. I've been involved with it from a behavioral sciences standpoint for a while, so I said I'll come in and talk to you.
Can I watch it?
Want to watch what she said?
Mm-hmm.
Which parts?
I don't know where she's implicating me.
You want me to cue up some of the parts?
Sure.
Okay. What part would you like to see?
Just the part where she's saying this is me.
Okay. Okay. I can do that. Any other thoughts or anything else you'd like? Which parts do you want to hear? Do you want to hear right from the time that you can show it right on the video, right from the time that Tori's grabbed to the time you get to Home Depot, or you want to hear after that? Obviously she said it. I can't make that shit up, man. I wasn't in the car with you guys. All right, so obviously she said it. All right, and like I say, as we go along, video corroborates it. So
I need a lawyer.
no, you spoke to them. You had really no issues. Their whole oxys. With you, going over this stuff.
Trying to find Agent Smith. Oh, here he is.
The issue here, just as easy.
I'd rather deal with this history in court.
Hey, Steph, how are you? Fine,
All right.
remember sec? I understand Mike here wanted to see what Terry Lynn had to say. Mike, Terry Lynn's still speaking to my partner, okay? This is the girl you killed, all right? She's not missing anymore. She's dead. Terry Lynn was asked today if she wanted to call a lawyer 4 times. She said no, all 4 times. She went through 2 boxes of Kleenex. All right? She says,
Hey, that doesn't mean anything. We saw Wendy Adelson go through a whole fucking case of Kleenex. They were all dry.
on the 8th of April, Wednesday the 8th of April 2009 at 3:30 in the afternoon, you drop her off at Pavey, south of Fife, south of the public school, where Tori walks out of. You tell her to get a girl and you want her young. She walks up the street, you drive up to the old age home and you park your car. She walks up to Tori. Tori's nice to her. She trusts her. She holds her hand for a little bit. She walks up the street with her. Terry Lynn tells her about her little dog, gets her across the street to your car, opens the back door. Tori doesn't like it anymore. She pushes her in the car. You start driving. She says she's freaking out. She says she's worried about you. She's scared about what you're going to do. She says you guys hit the 401. You start driving to Guelph. You park outside a house. You go in for a little while. You come out with some drugs, she thinks. And you drive to the Home Depot. You park at the end of the parking lot. You tell her it's her turn to get out of the car. You tell her to go in there. You give her some cash because you don't want to use your debit card so you don't track it. She goes in there. She gets garbage bags like she's told to do, and she comes back out. Then you go driving. And you pull into a farmer's field right across from a house, to the point where you're even asking her if anybody can see you. And what does she do? She says she goes for a walk because she doesn't want to see what happens. And then she comes back. And you're not sitting in the front seat anymore, Mike. You're sitting in the back seat. And she's not liking what she sees. So she walks away again. Then she comes back, and you make her hold one of those garbage bags while you put some of your clothes and her jacket and a hammer in the garbage bag. Then you drive to a gas station.
Well, if she was that freaked out, why did she abduct the kid? What did she think he was going to do? Go and abduct that child. I want to buy it some new shoes. And then drop it off safely at home.
She never sees Tori again. You drive to that gas station, you get out, you wash up, you dump the bag. You drive back to Woodstock. That's Terry Lynn's story, Mike. That's Terry Lynn's story while she bawls her eyes out through 2 boxes of Kleenex. And I ask her 4 times, hey, you want to call a lawyer? She says, I don't need to call a lawyer. I feel so bad about what happened. I just want to tell you all about it. That's what you're up against.
Terry Lynn's a liar.
Well, you're the only person that can tell us that, bud.
It means Toronto, Michelle.
I just did.
You gotta be careful though, Mike, because some of the shit she said is backed by not just video but other evidence, but also some of the explanations that she gave as well are verified. And that's a little more graphic than I said it, but yeah, there is some stuff that she says that is true. There's no question. I'm not gonna say it's not. But
How old are you, Mike? 28 years old? You want to tell us your side of the story? Get rid of your fucking security blanket and start being a man. Because it's not going to be her semen that we find on her body. When we look at the areas underneath the parts of the seat that you cut out, we're going to find her blood. Do you know how blood works? Do you know about red blood cells, white blood cells? White blood cells are thinner. They look like spit when they're separated from red blood cells. They're the ones that seep through into the foam. That's what we get the DNA from. Skin cells from her rubbing up and down against your...
Yeah, I'm sure that red blood cells are too big to seep through the foam. That's bullshit. They're both infinitely small. I mean, yeah, white blood cells are thinner, so they seep through the foam. All those red blood cells, they get stuck. It's like a filter. Yeah. Both cells would go through anything.
Your seats in your car. Tori Stafford is all over your car. All over it. And Terry Lynn explains everything that she knows we're going to find. You're explaining nothing. So I don't give a fuck if you say one more word to tell you the truth.
All right, we're done then.
Well, I'm done with you anyway.
Okay.
This officer here is trying to understand what the hell you're going through. I don't care.
Who are you?
I'm the lead investigator here.
Okay.
Okay?
Terry Lynn's full of shit.
Well, that's going to be a funny thing for you to say in court, isn't it?
No.
Because how's the DNA going to be full of shit, Mike? Huh? How's the biologist from the Center for Forensic Sciences going to be full of shit? How's the pathologist that examines her body going to be full of shit? Explain that to me.
I'll be careful, Mike, that's a dangerous road to go up. If there's something you and I can clarify with what she said, then let's clarify it. But we can't just sit here with a blanket statement that she's full of shit, because there is some things that's truthful. And then by you saying that takes away your credibility, so we gotta be very careful with that.
I'm done with him.
Yeah.
This officer's got his job to do, Mike. He's got a different job than I do. For my investigation, you keeping your mouth shut is the best thing can happen. So keep on keeping it shut.
Okay.
Well, you know more than I told you anyway. It wasn't quite as eloquent as I would have put it, but anyways. This is,
I'd love it if the next thing this Chris cop said was, so how about that bacon and eggs? And he makes it himself with a little apron, brings it in on a little tray with a, half an orange quartered, put nicely on the plate. Fresh coffee. In one of those little French presses, just for one. Oh. Pack of Winston. And a chocolate croissant that he baked personally.
I mean, these people have been working on this stuff for over a month, right? So some of these people have been working from 6 in the morning to 1 in the morning ever since then. Some of them had 1 day off, so there's a little bit of concern and emotion, but I got to tell you, like you say, it's just sitting saying a blanket thing about Tara. That's not. You're not doing yourself any good. At the same time,
What do you think this cop does, in his own time, for fun, a hobby or leisure activity? Bird watching. That'd be a good one. That's his primary, I think. What else would he do? Maybe candlestick making? Just a couple of times a year.
what he's saying is right. Like, I did watch what she was saying, and she was very emotional. There's no question. And she did go through Kleenex. There's no question of that. And she was upset. And there's stuff that she said that, I mean, was clearly known ahead of time by the investigators, and there's stuff that was said that, by her saying it, later proved out to be confirmed other ways. So don't, no, I can't say don't, you can do whatever the hell you want, but just be careful going up that road. I mean, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to try and back it. And like I said, there's no magical cleanser out there that cleans DNA out of a car. Just you and I sitting in here, Mike. Your DNA's in this room, my DNA's in this room. That's reality, right? Could be saliva, perspiration. We may have shed skin, hair, whatever. So you just can't wipe it out. And I can sit and tell you over the years of things that people have tried, different types of fuels, oils, cleansers. People have set fires to their cars.
Yeah, both good answers, guys. Fishing and bowling. You know. And his wife makes the bowling shirts for the whole team, right? But he wouldn't be on the cop team, would he? He's probably not allowed. He's on the ornithologists team. They talk owls, falcons.
Cars likely to try and get rid of stuff. But yeah, if that stuff gets soaked right in, which it will, you've got an issue. And there's even actually a couple more things that actually he didn't say, whether he did, why he didn't, or whatever. That's fine. But he did talk to Terry today. Anyways, but if, like I say, I have no issues on that. That doesn't change my opinion, our discussion, to be quite honest. I mean, they got their opinions, and obviously they're getting sick of listening to me, so they've come in and said their piece. But like I say, I've got no, I'm not pissed with you, so I'm not. But like I say, this is your chance. This is your chance to say your piece, and I'm sitting here willing to listen to it. Like you say, I've already told you my opinion, right?
What is the cop actually hoping for? I guess that he defends himself and says, it couldn't have been me because I was out of town, so that they can prove him wrong, right? I mean, he's not hoping for a confession. I don't think he needs one. But he's spending a lot of time. I don't know. It's a very long interview.
I've told you my role. My role is behavioral sciences. My role is to assess threat. And I've already told you I don't think you're going to go out and kill somebody else. So I've already told you.
Assess threat.
I've given you my side.
Threat
I say
assessed.
to you, I have no issues sitting here discussing this stuff. But you need to understand what you're up against.
Well, he just told me not to say anything more, so.
Well, it's up to you. You don't say anything to him.
That's what
but
he said, though.
He doesn't want you to talk to him, but that's fine. I'm still interested in
Yeah.
listening to you. But
Yeah. The guy that shouted at you and barked at you and called you a little fucking pussy, yeah, he doesn't want you to talk. You keeping your mouth shut is the best thing you could do, buddy, so keep on keeping it shut. I guess the thinking is that he will want to not do what that guy told him. Might be a little simplistic even for this guy.
I have no issue with it. Like I say, if there's a way we can explain it, then I'll sit and listen to it. If it's oxys is the problem here, then we might as well start up that road. All right? If that's what's happened, and you've taken too many oxys and then went and grabbed her up, then let's deal with that now. All right? Because, like I say, some of the stuff she said is already being confirmed. And some of this you know is confirmed anyways, because you already knew some of the evidence was out there. So you know that that's already reality. But you also have to understand, when I talked earlier about the other cases where the people sat here, acknowledge what they did and apologize, you never even heard of those cases, because the whole thing just flew right under the radar after that. All right?
Yeah, because he's not a sex crimes detective.
So that's up to you. But I think there's a couple things that we should probably discuss while I'm here. But I mean, you know the risks that are attached to having her in your car going up that highway, right? So you know there's a good chance that there's witnesses for that. So there's certain things that you can explain, and some of it might be a little more difficult. But like I say, I have no issue sitting in here going through it with you.
The cops want to lock you into a story, Spacey. Any story. So later at trial, any contradiction will sink you. You know, that's that. They just want you to say something on record. That's why the advice is, don't talk. Which he has been told. It's interesting how in Canada, you know, when in the States, people say, I want an attorney. when they're being interrogated, and the interrogation has to stop. But not in Canada. They can just keep going. You don't have to say anything, but they can make you listen to their questions on film for as long as they want. Which is incredible. It's in their Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And that would be excruciating. It's what's that guy? Dennis, is it Oland? The Moosehead murder. The Moosehead murder, they asked that guy questions until he fell asleep. And the cop had a really annoying voice as well. I think it was up in Halifax.
Talk about the part of the school where she's grabbed. We can discuss that and see what your thoughts are there.
Why I ever started talking to trashy people, I don't know.
You seem smarter than this. Something happened, right? You've heard me say it 50 times probably. Something happened here, man. You don't fly on the radar for 28 years. So what happened?
Hey, hello Shiny. Yeah. We are endorsed by Ryan Fitzpatrick and Yindra Velasquez Mascaro and Joel himself from STS. Good. Look out for an email from me. Hello Shiny, we need to talk some business. French press is known by many names. It could be called a cafetiere or a, what's the other one? Plunger. I mean, I got a big problem with that. I don't think you should call anything you're about to drink the same name as the tool, the instrument that you use to unclog a toilet that's full of shit, right? Yeah, I just that shouldn't be a thing. Hey Laura, how you doing? Good to see you.
I'm not saying anymore.
What part's hard? Is it hard just to even get talking about it?
I'm not saying anymore.
Why?
I'm not saying
because
anymore. Yeah, but the good news is this is Canada, baby, so we're going to get all your reactions and non-reactions on film. Yeah. He should have done a Stephen McDaniel, right? No, I don't know. Which is very similar to the dentist worker, what's her name? Her name is... Shit, what's the dentist, like dental secretary? Well, no, that's the other one, the hygienist, I think. For the Adelsons, you know. It is, fuck. Oh, that's gonna bother me. Somebody say it in chat. Michelle, you know. It's a Spanish name.
Officer, because of what the lawyer said, now it's everything. I just don't. I'm not comfortable saying anything.
This guy will be out soon without record. Really? It's only been, 2009, so, well, 17 years.
What's your concern about saying something now? Like at this point?
I'm not saying anymore.
What do you think is going to happen next?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Someone runs in here and starts barking. I'm done.
Well, the problem with that is, like I say, that's frustration.
Hello Shiny says, oh, just a basic coffee plunger, and I agree. Yes, wrong name. Plunger coffee is what we call it. There's also people that get addicted to coffee enemas. So maybe they invented the plunger name. Yeah, I went to one of those places once where you're supposed to pour coffee into parts of your body where it doesn't belong. They came and knocked on the door, and with all the stuff, I told them, fucking take your woo-woo sticks and your incense and get out of my teepee.
People that haven't slept great for days, right? They've all missed family engagements during that time,
Well,
right?
maybe then he should have a Coke and a smile and try to talk to me later.
I don't think you will. I don't think those guys will. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but like you say, it's...
What did he say?
I'm not saying anything.
What's your concern about saying something now? Like at this point?
I'm not saying anymore.
What do you think is going to happen next?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Someone runs in here and starts barking. I'm done.
Well, the problem with that is, like I say, that's frustration of people that haven't slept great for days, right? They've all missed family engagements during that time,
Well,
right?
maybe then he should have a Coke and a smile and try to talk to me later.
I don't think you will.
Okay, can a Canadian please tell me what he just said? Is that a Canadian thing? It sounds like it could be a Canadian thing. They say stuff like that, don't they? Have a Coke and a smile. Is that what he said? Have a Coke and a smile? Or what else could it have been? Ask a Canadian. They'll know.
I don't think those guys will. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but like you say,
Barking. I'm done.
well, the problem with that is, like I say, that's frustration of people that haven't slept great for days, right? They've all missed family engagements during that time,
Well,
right?
maybe then he should have a Coke and a smile and try to talk to me later.
Okay, what is that? Maybe he should have a Coke and a smile and talk to me later.
I don't think you will. I don't think those guys will. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but like you say, it's my role's a little bit different.
Coconut smile. That was Coke's slogan back in the 70s, even in the USA. It's an old commercial for Coca-Cola. Oh, thank you. Great. What was that song? Teach the world to smile, right? Was that the old commercial? The song, you know? If I could da 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 and teach the world to smile. Something like that.
I don't think you'll have to worry about those guys coming around seeing you. And again, it all goes back to there's emotion over stuff like this. All right, it's I can't sugarcoat it. Like I've sugarcoated some, but it's a serious situation. You can't sit and
I know it's
downplay
very
that,
serious.
You know? It's like I say, we talked about it before. And if that's what it was, that you used some oxys and did this, then that's fine. Like you say, we'll deal with it. But nobody's gonna no one's gonna care 2 years from now, and that's what you say, right? Because you've had 2 years to think about it and say, oh well, this is the best way to go, and it's not gonna come across as believable. Like you say, when Terry came in and said some of the stuff she said, and then some of it she said.
Terry's an uncredible person.
Well, and the problem with that is when she starts saying stuff that can be verified. You know, it becomes very compelling, right? And that's what's, like I say, that's what's important. And not only because it would be different if she said stuff and it was full of lies, but that's not what happened. And it's like I say, what she says is compelling because it can be matched. And like I say, a lot of what's going to solve this case is video, because video is so prominent now than it was a few years ago, and technology's better. And again, there's some compelling things, as she has said, but the fact that your car was on that video long before, and it hadn't been released. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to verify it, and that's before they go and analyze your car. Which is going to, well, there's no way there's nothing in that car. She spent too much time in there. And there's no, you're not gonna be able to explain, oh yeah, she was 8 years old, she was hitchhiking or something. You're not gonna explain how her, you don't have the relationship with that kid to have her. I don't have to ask you if you want food, but I am prepared to get you food.
Here comes the food.
I don't know. I've never been in this chair before. I don't know.
It's so funny when he caves and says, yes, I need food. Would it be too much to ask for a petit filet mignon?
No.
Need something to eat?
Yeah, but you don't care if I need something to eat.
Why would you say that?
Because you don't.
I wouldn't ask if I didn't care.
You're here for your job.
Nope. I could have walked out. I don't have to ask you to eat because you got it going right here, right? But the reality of it is, I know that you're going to go back and sit and sleep or do whatever for a while, and you'd be better to do it on a full stomach. That's all it is to it, man. But I don't have to ask you if you want food, but I am prepared to get you food.
Oh, I can eat, and then you can say, "Oh, look, he had an appetite. This is how he must have been feeling. Oh, he drank his tea. This is how he must be feeling." Forget the fact he's just starving and.
You're reading too much into it, man. No, that's not what it is at all. I offered you something to eat because I thought if you're hungry, you can eat it. I don't care if you eat it or not, right? I mean, it's up to you. It doesn't matter to me if you eat or you don't eat.
And that doesn't go in anywhere in any of your reports.
What's that?
That I ate or not ate.
No, because it's on the video. It doesn't matter if you eat or not. I don't have to write any report. My report doesn't say if you ate or not. My report says what we talked about. That's all.
It's going in the report that you asked that it won't go in the report. I mean, that didn't look good. And that won't go in any of your reports. Just makes it even look more, underhanded.
Right? I don't, no, that's reality, man. I ask people that. But, no, I don't, like I say, it's, your appetite at this point doesn't matter, really. I come in here, I sat to explain to you what the evidence was, had a discussion. Actually, I don't think there's any animosity between us. So we had a discussion about what the case facts are, and that was it. So it doesn't matter to me if you eat or not, but it was a legitimate offer. If you want something, I'll arrange for you to get it. There's no issues that way. But
is he gonna do it? Is he gonna go for it? You might get restaurant cake.
you read too much into it, man.
Bacon and eggs. Come on. Real bacon. That's the last time you're ever gonna have it. Imagine if it's from farm to table.
I need something to eat, yes.
All right. We'll get you something to eat.
Something plain, something simple and plain.
What were you thinking?
Something, anything plain.
Yeah.
Soup or something? Or?
Sure.
Anything plain. I'm too upset to taste. Put that in your report. He asked for plain food. Just, gruel.
Alrighty.
I'm allergic to mushrooms and onions.
Like some type of allergy, is it?
I'm allergic to mushrooms and onions. Okay. So I was going to go to the Uncle Ken's wok and get you a nice Singapore noodle stir fry. But I guess that's out. I'm allergic to mushrooms and onions. What does he think he's getting? A fucking penne arrabbiata. Extra chili flakes. Oh. And if they have any of that nice pesto, a little pot, just on the side. But not too much. I'm too upset for too much.
Sorry?
What type of allergies does it make you go into throw up or anything?
The mushrooms make me pretty ill. And the onions just make me nauseous.
Okay. Alright. Look at me.
So you don't like them, then? You don't like onions? They make me nauseous. I'm allergic. I'm allergic because they make me nauseous. Okay.
Take it easy.
And he doesn't come back. I think the next time they come in with Terry McClintock, which is good. We should watch that. We need a ticking clock. Ah.
Hey Mike, I'm a pretty get down to the facts kind of guy. I'm sure you've realized that from our brief encounter earlier, right? This is not rocket science. I've got what Terry Lynn has told me this afternoon, and I've got you. This is your opportunity. Terry Lynn's sitting right here. Tell us she's a liar. You've had no problem at saying without her in the room.
Terry's a liar.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping.
I'm not even looking at her.
I don't need to look at her.
You haven't been looking at anyone.
I don't need to look at anyone. I know what happened.
Have you stopped for a second to think about all of the forensic evidence that is yet to come in this investigation?
And the lawyer will have to deal with that.
How does your lawyer deal with your semen on an 8-year-old's body?
I guess
Like,
a lawyer would
I
have
have
to
never-
deal with such things if they came up.
What's that?
I guess a lawyer would have to deal with such things if such things came up.
Do you know how the legal system works, Mike? Who gives instructions to who? Do you instruct your lawyer, or does your lawyer instruct you? You instruct your lawyer. So when that happens, your lawyer's going to say to you, Mike, what do you want me to do with this evidence?
Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
Make it go away. Make the evidence go away. Bring me a penny arrabbiata.
See, Mike.
No
I
onions.
started when I walked in here, okay? And I'm not gonna pull any punches here, okay? I'm not gonna try and kiss your ass, all right? I mean, let's face it. I'm a cop, all right? And the last 5 weeks, I've been trying to find out who killed an 8-year-old girl. Okay? And I know the guys from behavioral sciences, they got their thing. They're trying to understand why that's what they do.
You guys all work together.
Yeah, we do. They're good people. They know their job very well. And sure as hell, I'd like to know why. Right? I'd like to think that we don't have people walking around our communities who just because they're bored on an afternoon say, hey, why don't we grab that girl and rape and murder her? Okay? I'd like to think that we live in a community where people think a little bit more about what they're going to do than that. All right? But what do you think you're coming off as right now? Do you think you're coming off as an innocent guy? Do you think you're looking like somebody who's been wrongfully accused here?
You're going to see it however you want to see it. My lawyer, or the lawyer, instructed me to just say...
Yeah, I know, Mike. I know what your
Simply-
lawyer instructed you to say. But that doesn't make you an innocent man. That makes you a man who's saying, holy fuck, what am I going to do now?
Nothing I do is going to change your opinion. So I might as well just follow the lawyer's advice.
Well, you're right there, Mike. Nothing you do is going to get you walking out of this police station tonight without being charged with murdering Tori Stafford. You're right, okay? Because everything, every single thing Terry Lynn has told us as we go through checking her story, and we've just started checking her story, has checked out. Everything. Okay? And things are starting to fall apart for you, okay? I just heard your name for the first time a couple of days ago as one of hundreds of names that I've been having my investigators look at. Okay, things changed this afternoon very quickly when we had Terry Lynn in here for a chat. Okay, and I'm not saying Terry Lynn walked in here and said, "Hey guys, guess what? I'm involved." All right, she resisted. She took time trying to convince us that she wasn't, and then for whatever reason. Whatever twigged with her, the lights started to come on, and she decided, you know what? I gotta get ahead of this thing. And that's her thing, okay? That's her thing. But 10 minutes ago, an officer just handed me a fax report from London Police. But a date rape allegation involving you.
That
And
would be
that's
an
only,
allegation.
Mike, that's only 3 hours in to talking to you.
Man, what a piece of shit. That's only an allegation. Those are alleged charges. Yeah, but they don't look good. You know, we just typed your name in and it popped up. Date rape. You know, it's going in a direction. Those are alleged charges. I'll see you in court. Slander.
Okay, how unfortunate for you that within 5 months you've been accused of date rape, of drugging a girl, and now you're accused of kidnapping and murdering an 8-year-old girl. That's what this is, Mike. This is not me interpreting the evidence. I cannot take what Terry Lynn said to me this afternoon and say, maybe she's mistaken.
You can't take what somebody has said to you and just, by God, believe it. Because if things were that simple, then there wouldn't be such things as court systems.
Absolutely. There wouldn't be such things as CSI people and forensics and DNA analysis.
Right.
Okay? You know that within, I would say, a couple of hours from now, actually you and I will probably talk after we do it, we'll have the search warrant signed to search your car. Okay? Now, will you help me out with this? Okay, it's a simple question, Mike. Is there going to be parts of your back seat removed? Parts of the material in your back seat removed?
I guess you're going to find out.
Well, it's a simple question. You know I'm going to find out. We have your car.
Well, then you're going to find out. What's the point of asking?
Because the point is, that's one of the things that Terry Lynn says she knows you did.
Terry Lynn rides in my car. So if there's anything different about my car, Terry Lynn knows.
Right. But everything Terry Lynn is saying is going to be checking out. You know that.
Okay.
You're a smart man. Okay? Nobody's claiming that you're a stupid person here, Mike. Right? And I'm not trying to kiss your ass by saying you're smart either, but that's just common sense.
I'm not saying you are.
But Mike, you know how much media coverage this has. You know what the newspapers are going to do with this and to your family tomorrow. Okay? You think the cops are going to be talking to everybody you ever spoke to in your life? That's nothing compared to what the media is going to be doing. This is a huge story for them. This is the next Paul Bernardo. Whether you like it or not, a girl and a guy kidnapping an 8-year-old girl and murdering her. That's one of the most sensational things that have happened in this province since Bernardo and Carla. It's going to be a frenzy, and you and I both know that. Did you know your mother's being interviewed right now?
Nope.
How do you think she's taking this?
Probably not the greatest.
Right. And Mike, we're not doing this to be pricks, okay? We're not going and talking to your friends and family to be pricks. We have to do this. Okay? If we didn't do it, the Crown Attorney would order us to do it.
You don't need to interrogate my family.
Wait, Mike, that's not even an option for me. If I didn't do that, my boss would pull me off this case so fast my head would be spinning and somebody else would be on it the next day.
Awesome.
Okay? Now, I know this is going to sound like a deal to you, but it's not. Okay, and I guarantee you it's not. All right? But if you want us to lay off your family, then you need to tell the truth. Because otherwise we have to go find the truth out from everybody else and put the pieces together. And you want to force our hand, that's fine. Okay? Because the commissioner of the OPP has already gone public saying every resource possible, and I'm sure you've read the articles, will be thrown at finding the persons responsible for what happened to Tori Stafford. There is nothing bigger in this province right now. And really, when you look at it, there's only two ways to approach this story from a media perspective. And I think the guy from behavioral sciences already kind of talked to you about that a little bit. This is either two people whose lives were overtaken by drugs and all the stress and everything that goes on, and they made a bad decision, they made a bad mistake. Or this is two cold-blooded psychopaths who were planning and plotting to snatch an innocent little girl off the street. Okay? And those aren't my words, Mike. Those are the words that the media is going to use, and you know that. You can control that to a certain extent.
No.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can, because when they ask us what you had to say about it, we can either say,
He's waiting to speak to a lawyer.
yeah, and then it's open season for the media. They can say whatever they want.
Well, it doesn't matter what they say. It's not gonna make a difference of what they say. Nothing's gonna change what they say. Even if they were 100% rooting for me, it's not gonna change because of things that they say. If they were gunning for me, it's not gonna change because of what they say.
Right.
It's not gonna make a difference.
No, it's not going to make a difference. You're right. It's not going to change the fact that you're going to be charged with murdering Tori Stafford. You're right.
Charged.
Yeah.
Not convicted.
No, I don't convict people. I'm an investigator. I follow the evidence. See, Mike, I want you to pause for a second.
Correct, Michelle, but he's a putrid, vile, sorry excuse for a man that is allergic to mushrooms and onions. Because they make him feel a little bit sick.
And think about all of the potential evidence that's still to come in this case. The 401 cameras. Any of the cameras leading to that residence you went to in Guelph. The traffic cameras, cameras at stores, the Home Depot cameras. The cameras alone are going to track you. Okay? And we can talk about Tori Stafford's DNA being in your car. We can talk about how blood soaks through material and people cut out material, but it still gets to the underpadding because it happens all the time. I'm sure you watch CSI. I think you have a pretty good idea of what happens with human fluids. Okay, they seep. They seep through things. They seep through material. They get into the foam. Right? They get into the carpet fibers. We're not even talking about blood anymore. We're not even talking about saliva. We're talking about skin cells. We lose thousands of them every second. Tori could have sat in the backseat of your car for 10 seconds and jumped out and ran away. We could probably still find her DNA in your car. All that time in your car, her DNA is in your car, Mike. Okay? But the biggest issue for you is explaining why your DNA is on her body. That's the problem you're going to have. Okay? And you can work through these things. You can try and figure out, how am I going to spin this? How am I going to spin that? Right?
Simply, not going to happen.
Well, people tell me that all the time. Mike, I've been doing this job for 20 years, and it happens. Okay?
Fine, it also doesn't happen.
Well, it's going to happen in this case.
You think it's going to happen in this case because some drug addict girl whose mom shoots up
I
and
know all about
stabbed
Terry Lane.
people that obviously then it's just got to be true.
Good night, Retro. Thank you for stopping by.
See, Mike, this is the problem, though. We're only 3 hours into this conversation.
Okay.
What do I do tomorrow when I pull the Home Depot camera and I say, Mike, you're on video driving at that Home Depot parking lot on the afternoon of the 8th of July with Terry Lynn and a young female in your car?
I have a feeling that's not going to happen.
Okay, having a feeling is not good enough. If it happens, what are you going to say?
Okay.
And then are you going to say, hey, you got me, I'm sorry, I'm a drug addict now, and I was out
Hey,
of my
someone
mind.
faked the video. Maybe something along
your
those
defense.
lines.
So now we're moving from Terry Lynn's line to now the police are trying to frame me.
I never said the police are trying to frame me. You're trying to implicate something. You're trying to say something happened.
Well, if I
that
fake
you don't
my-
know
if
did
I
happen,
fake a
that you're
video-
going based on what some girl has told you.
Who's going to fake the video, Mike? Who's going to fake it?
Maybe you didn't get what I said.
I go to Home Depot security office and I have them pull their video cameras of their parking lot, because all Home Depots have them. I'm sure you've seen how they have the lawnmowers out there, how they have all that equipment out there for sale. They have video cameras in all their parking lots.
Okay.
It's a huge business. You go there, pull the tapes, and I see you on that afternoon.
Not gonna happen.
Why?
I'm not there.
Okay, and that's what I wanted to hear from you, okay? Denying something that the evidence is going to show to be true. What are you going to do with that? Like, what kind of conversation are we going to have, say, at noon tomorrow when I walk in and I say, Mike, the videotape from the Home Depot shows you there, or the videotape from the traffic light in
We're
Guelph.
gonna have whatever conversation that the lawyer says to have.
Yeah, you're going to go back to, I'm waiting for my lawyer.
Yes.
And that's fine,
Okay.
okay? That's fine. But
That's where I'm standing.
don't bitch at me about interviewing your family and your friends. Your family and your
You
friends.
asked a question, I
Your close
responded.
family is
That's
probably
not
going to get
bitching.
interviewed about 3 or 4 times.
Okay, well,
Okay.
you asked a question, I responded.
Okay. How are you going to respond to your mom when she says, Mike, how come the media's here every day shoving cameras in my face?
I'll deal with that when the time comes.
Yeah. You know what a psychopath is, Mike?
I'll deal with that when the time comes. Well, it's right around the corner. Okay, she's in the building being interviewed now. There's press waiting to mob her outside the police station. I'll deal with that when the time comes. Knock on the door.
I have never met one.
Well, I just met one tonight. It was you.
Oh, hang
The
on.
other room.
Have you ever met a psychopath? No, what does he say? Do you know what a psychopath is? I have never met one.
How are you going to respond to your mom when she says, Mike, how come the media's here every day shoving cameras in my face?
I'll deal with that when the time comes.
Yeah. You know what a psychopath is, Mike?
I have never met one.
Well, I just met one tonight. It was you.
The other room.
No. No, psychopaths don't tell the truth. Psychopaths rarely confess, actually.
Okay.
Paul Bernardo never confessed.
All right.
Paul Bernardo's a dangerous offender. He's never getting out.
Okay.
Paul Bernardo kept saying, you'll never find the evidence. You'll never find any DNA. It's not there. It's all over the place.
Okay. It's so funny how you can compare me to somebody like that because what a 19-year-old girl has said.
What has it got to do with her being 19? She saw what she saw. And the one advantage Terry Lynn has is being a female, being a young female. People are more inclined to believe. I mean, even when people saw the video, when they started to think, I wonder if this is a stranger that has grabbed Tori. Because let's face it, rumor around town, maybe mom's involved, maybe it's drug related, blah, 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 right? We've been hearing that forever. But even when people started to turn their minds to maybe this is a stranger. Maybe that woman with Tori on that video is a stranger to Tori. Do you think they were contemplating the fact that a female...
Chubby Dasmu, have you seen Stephen McDaniel? Because he said even less.
would do this on their own? No. Everybody's talking about the fact, well, some guy must have made her do this, right?
Well, I don't know what some guy she's involved with.
She's involved with you.
She's not involved with me. I'm one of dozens of people that she knows.
When was the last time you saw Terry Lynn before tonight?
I dropped her off clothes.
Okay, why if she knows dozens of people, are you the one that has to bring her the clothes?
Because I'm talking to her mother and because I'm not high all the time. like everybody else. Like the guy who found me in a parking lot, whacked out of his tree.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what is he talking about? Like the guy who found me in a parking lot, whacked out of his tree. I'm not on drugs, they're all on drugs. What is he talking about? He's trying to discredit Terry Lynn. I mean, why don't you just tell the detective about the time that she put the puppy in the microwave? Sick fuck.
Do you remember telling Terry Lynn that if the police come and talk to her, that she should be telling them nothing, first of all, that she doesn't know you. And secondly, if something comes up where they can prove that she knows you, then she should tell them that that car that was released by the police, that you guys just drove Tori down to that other car and then you don't know what happened. Is that going to be your story?
It's not my story.
Was it though?
It's not my
How
story.
do you explain that? I was only partially abducting her? I'm a part-time abductor? What the fuck?
Okay, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Right. I'm pretty sure any more questions now can go towards a lawyer.
I don't have any questions for you. I just wanted to meet the guy that I've been chasing down for the last 5 weeks.
You haven't been chasing me for 5 weeks.
Well, I've been chasing the person that killed Tori,
Wrong again.
and you're that person, Mike.
Wrong again. But once again, you're gonna believe whatever you want to believe, until even if you don't have facts in front of you. That's not very smart.
So what do you suggest the police do when somebody like Terry Lynn comes in and tells us what she told us today? What would you do as a police officer?
I'm not a police officer. I don't know.
Well, you're obviously pissed
didn't
off
take
about the
up law
decision we did
enforcement.
make. What decision would you make? Do you not
It's
think
not
we
up to
did
me
the
to
right
decide
thing?
that.
Okay. So why are you so pissed off about what we did?
I'm pissed off about what you did.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm pissed off. I'm not even pissed off. I just find it funny how you can go full sure on something when you don't know.
Well, Mike, when somebody tells me that they were present when a man killed an 8-year-old girl.
Right. Somebody told you that.
Mm-hmm. She did.
Okay.
When that happens, okay, we don't say, oh well, maybe after we go golfing for the week, we'll go and see Mike and see what he has to say. That's not the way it works.
No, so let's just pick him up and then say, yep, you did it. Because that's obviously got to be the right way to go about things.
Yeah. Well, community safety is the important thing here, right?
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I'm not going anywhere right now, so that doesn't justify what you're saying or doing.
Do you have any kids of your own, Mike?
I guess you'll find out.
Do you have any nieces or nephews?
I guess you'll find out.
Yeah. Somebody told us you have a 7-year-old daughter. Is that true?
I guess you'll find out.
Okay. Well, if you did, and this happened to her, and I came over to your house and said, hey Mike, we just had somebody tell us who abducted and murdered your daughter. We'll look into it, see what comes up. Would you be happy with that?
Yes. That's your job.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want us to go and arrest somebody just because somebody told us they did a murder, right?
Of course not.
No.
Why would I want somebody to just get arrested just because some Joe Blow said so? Then everybody might be arrested because everybody thinks that everybody did it. So let's just arrest a whole lot of them.
Why do you think Terry Lynn would confess to this?
I have no idea.
I mean, let's face it, if Terry
Because
Lynn
he says
goes...
Terry Lynn's on a video. Looks like Terry Lynn's out of options. Terry Lynn's already in
No.
a juvie. Terry Lynn already has priors. Terry Lynn has already been accused of stabbing people. I don't know.
But we didn't arrest Terry Lynn until Terry Lynn told us she was involved, right?
Okay.
She came in here for a chat.
Okay.
Okay? We asked her permission to come out on a judge's order and come and talk to us. Okay? It wasn't until Terry Lynn told me that she was involved in this all started to happen. Okay, so this isn't Terry Lynn getting arrested and trying to save her own throat by throwing it on Mike.
I don't know. Maybe Terry Lynn thought she was out of options. I don't know.
Well, for a girl who thought she was out of options, she sure given us a hell of a lot of details.
I can't answer you. I don't know.
How many more sexual assault allegations are going to be on the databases for you?
I guess you'll find out.
So assuming there's more. I guess
you'll
you'll find out.
Right. You're like getting a hold of things.
Yeah.
Are we done?
I'm not done. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. So, the last thing I cover off with everybody I talk to in situations like this, Mike, is pretty straightforward, okay? Rodney Stafford and Tara McDonald have to be notified about this, okay? First question out of their mouth is going to be, what? Did they say why they did it?
I'm sure one of those two will have the answer for you, why somebody would do it.
What are you getting at, Mike? What are you throwing out there for me, buddy?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're gonna talk to them anyways.
You know what, Mike? If you're gonna claim you have no involvement whatsoever, don't play games with me and throw out little hints and see what comes of it.
There's no game, there's no little
Okay,
hints.
there's nobody involved in this except for you and Terry Lynn.
Once again, you're just gonna believe whatever you wanna believe,
Yeah, I believe-
based on what some girl has told you.
See,
Whatever. This is why I said I'm done. This is why from this point on, nothing else comes from my mouth. And if you want to speak to somebody, you can speak to who may be representing me.
We do that all the time.
Perfect.
But we don't have a need to talk to them. That's what the Crown attorneys do.
Okay, well then the Crown will talk to them. I've already given you my answers. They're not good enough for you.
What did you think was gonna happen, Mike? You think you were gonna walk in here and say, oh, I wasn't involved? Okay, Mike, sorry, Father, you can go now?
Maybe.
Well, one of the things we have to assess is who looks like they're being more truthful. Okay? And I sat through a long, long conversation with Terry Lynn today. I saw her try and tell me she wasn't involved. I saw her try and resist. I saw her try and dig in like you're digging in now. Okay? And then the light came on for her. She started to realize that it was kind of weird that 2 months ago, 3 months ago, whenever it was, here comes Mike out of the blue, walking up to her in a pizza place because he saw her walking in there and just thought she was just so stunning that he just couldn't drive by. As we're talking, the light starts to come on a little bit more, and she starts to realize that, yeah, that's freaking weird. That doesn't happen to people every day. Okay, but you're a pretty smooth talker. Alright?
Sure.
Well, there's lots of people who are going to come out of the woodwork to say that, Mike, okay?
Okay.
Alright? We got a girl in here tonight. I don't even know her name because I've been dealing with you. She's talking about how she met you and the kind of guy you are. Right? She's not going to be at your bail hearing in the morning. She's not going to be your biggest supporter.
Who would that be?
I don't even know her name. Blonde girl, saw her on the video.
Saw her on the video.
Yeah. She was in another interview room. We can find her name out for you if you're that interested.
Sure.
She's not been around anymore. You got the girl in London. You apparently wined and dined and
Which girl in London did I wine and dine?
I don't know her name. I gotta
Exactly.
get the report. Is it going to give me credibility if I go get the report? Mike can walk in.
Yes, Bren Barnes, Detective Sergeant Jim Smith of the Ontario Provincial Police, from their Behavioural Sciences Unit. Yeah, very different tone from the Russell Williams interrogation. But just as good, just as capable, right? Clear message, always round.
Here and tell you what her name was?
No. But it wouldn't sound like such a bullshit story. But whatever.
Mike, are you trying to tell me that you weren't interviewed by London police in January about a date rape allegation where a girl said you drugged her?
What does that have to do with what you just said?
Just what I said.
That's who you're talking about?
That's all the women in your life, okay?
That's
All the
who you're
women in your
talking
life, Mike, are going to come out and they're going to talk about how much of a slime ball you are and how sleazy you are.
Well, just because I'm sleazy.
Just because I'm sleazy doesn't mean I don't like penne arrabbiata. I just can't have it with mushrooms.
Doesn't make me what I'm being accused of. Those are two totally different things. I can see that. It's funny how you can't see that.
What do you want me to see? What do you want me to see, Mike?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference what you see.
Mike,
Because
how many days have you spent in jail?
none.
You understand that for the first degree murder of an 8-year-old girl, the chances of you getting bail are slim to none, right?
Okay.
You understand that? Okay, having done this job for 20 years, all right, I'm not going to give you any false hopes.
Okay.
So what you're telling me is that here's Mike, who's never spent a night in jail, but is now willing to spend probably, in my experience, 18 months to 3 years before this even reaches trial. And then he's going to be vindicating himself somehow. But you'll just suck up that 18 months to 3 years in jail.
I never said that. But once again, what does that have to do with this?
Well,
Nothing.
see, I would expect that somebody, an innocent man, would at least be saying to me, can I call, who knows, my boss, my cousin, my neighbor, somebody who can tell you where I was on the 8th of April, who can tell you I wasn't driving around Woodstock and Guelph with an 8-year-old girl and Terry Lynn McClintock in my car. Anybody, any alibi. 3 hours people have been talking to you now. Not once have I heard you say, I'm innocent, talk to this person. I'm innocent, talk to that person. They'll tell you where I was that day. They'll tell you what job site I was on or what thing I was working at that day. We're talking 3:30 in the afternoon. See that, Mike, that would make sense to me because
Okay.
that would mean if that person's spoken to tonight, we could turn around and say, holy crap. And then Mike wouldn't have to spend a night in jail, wouldn't it?
So if I tell you where I was, who I was with, what I was doing, you're gonna let me go?
If it's valid.
How long does it take to validate that,
I don't know. It depends who it is and where they are.
roughly? How long before I'm out?
Mike, who am I talking to? Where are they? How do I get a hold of them? How can I answer that question until you tell me who these people are?
If these people are into things of their own, does this mean they're gonna get in trouble?
Mike, I can tell you this. I've probably talked to over 100 people in the last 5 weeks, myself alone. My investigator.
But I want my kid back, man. That's my child, man. I want my kid, man.
Half of those people are either drug.
Hey, thank you so much on the mountain for that fabulous coffee. Chris McNabb there, still with the coffee notifications. I gotta hear it one more time. Love that guy. Oh, by the way, where's our coffee leaderboard? Who is in first place? Whoever's in first place doesn't have a name. But well done. And well done, Pinto, and well done, Monica. Great. Good.
Drug dealers, drug users, fraud artists, whatever. They've all admitted it. They've all been investigated for it. Not one of them has been charged with a criminal offense. Because our goal is one, to find that kid. Do you know where you were on the 8th of April?
I'm guessing that's a no. Do you know where you were on the 8th of April? He's going to wait until the next 8th of April to let us know. I gotta think of something good. This could be my one shot at freedom.
I had a few people I was supposed to meet that canceled that week. I had somebody over the morning when all the helicopters were going crazy. went to London in the afternoon. And wait till I talk to my lawyer tomorrow.
I think that would be a good idea, Mike, because one of the things you have to be aware of is if you create a situation, okay, where somebody else ends up stepping up and trying to be your alibi, and if their story is investigated and shown not to be true, they can be charged with accessory after the fact of murder.
Well, their story will be true.
And again, I'm sitting here wondering why I'm giving you the opportunity. You want me to be fair, you want me to listen to both sides.
I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm still hungry. It's been a long day. It's
And the next 25
crazy
years
day.
of your life are on the line, Mike.
Then it can wait one more day when I talk to a lawyer and I know exactly all my rights.
You have two rights. You can talk to a lawyer, which you've done, and you can keep your mouth shut.
I have a lot more rights than that.
Like what?
Well, I don't know. That will be for the lawyer to tell me.
Well, I'd be interested to know what new ones are out there that I haven't heard of.
Okay, well, we'll see what the lawyer tells me, what all my rights are.
The lawyer's going to tell you. Imagine being this guy's lawyer. Imagine waking up one day, heading into the office, you get an assignment. You have to represent Michael Rafferty. Fuck my life.
It'd be pretty stupid of me to just start saying whatever you want to hear without a lawyer present or without a lawyer instructing me on the right legal things to do.
Well, let's imagine something for a second here. Say 6 months from now, the police come and they visit you in jail. And they tell you that at, what time are we at now? Whatever time in the morning it happens to be, 3:30 in the morning, on Wednesday the 20th of May, there's a convenience store gets robbed just down the street from here. Same time that you and I are sitting in this room right now. They come and investigate it, and let's say who knows, they get a tip, somebody tells them, hey, Mike Rafferty robbed that convenience store. So they come and they arrest you for that robbery. You're telling me that you would not even consider saying to them, hey guys.
I never said I wouldn't consider that.
Hey guys, you screwed up. Go talk to
I never said I wouldn't consider that. And it's documented that I'm inside somewhere. It's documented that I'm sitting around with a bunch of police officers. It's documented that I'm on camera. So this isn't something that I have to discuss with somebody.
But this
Something
is the
else
truth.
is something that
You're
best
putting
to,
out that the truth is,
I want to speak to a lawyer.
yeah, you can speak to a lawyer all you want, but you're putting out the truth is
I'm done
that you
talking.
weren't there,
I'm
and
done.
yeah, I think that's a good idea, Mike.
Thanks. You said that earlier. I should have just.
I know, and you
I'm
keep
done.
doing that. You keep saying, I'm done, I'm not
Okay,
talking
we're
anymore.
done.
And then you say, oh, I have an alibi. And
We're done.
maybe I'll tell you. Maybe I won't. Maybe I need a lawyer here to tell me to keep my mouth shut, because I can keep my mouth shut on my own.
We're done.
Is that what you said to Tori before you killed her? We're done?
Funny man.
Funny man. That's what you think this is funny
I think
man?
you're a funny man.
I think you're a cold-blooded killer.
You can think whatever you want. I've already denied that.
I think you're a cold-blooded killer, Mike.
If you're trying to get a rouse out of me, not
No,
gonna
I
happen.
don't need
I
a
already
rouse.
denied it.
I don't need a rouse.
We're
The
done.
evidence tells the story.
You haven't gotten all your evidence.
No, it'll take us months, bud. It'll take us months and months and months. And you'll wait in jail
Okay,
until that happens.
great. And then when it's all over, I can say bye-bye
Bye-bye to what?
to you.
To freedom?
Yeah, right.
I'll be there to say bye-bye to you.
Okay.
Believe me, I've worked
Okay.
long and hard on this case.
Okay, good. Get ready to keep working.
I thought you weren't going to say anything anymore. Why can't you stop yourself from
Can't
talking?
you just go away?
Yeah.
Because this is my job. This is
And the things that he does say are so fucking whiny, aren't they? He's just like, oh, I won't be there to say goodbye to you. I want to say goodbye to you. I don't like you. No mushrooms.
what I do. 5 weeks of looking for you. I wanted
Let's
to
just hear how whiny he is again. Let's go back a few moments.
think you're a cold-blooded killer, Mike.
If you're trying to get a rouse out of me, not
No,
gonna
I
happen.
don't need
I
a
already
rouse.
denied it.
I don't need a rouse.
We're
The
done.
evidence tells the story.
You haven't gotten all your evidence.
No, it'll take us months, bud. It'll take us months and months and months. And you'll wait in jail
Okay,
until that happens.
great. And then when it's all over, I can say bye-bye.
I can say bye-bye.
Bye-bye to what?
To you.
To freedom?
Yeah, right.
I'll be there to say bye-bye to you.
Okay.
Believe me, I've worked
Okay.
long and hard on this case.
Okay, good. Get ready to keep working.
I thought you weren't going to say anything anymore. Why can't you stop yourself from
Can't
talking?
you just go away?
Because this is my job. This is what I do. 5 weeks of looking for you. I wanted to spend a little bit of time with you, Mike. This is gratifying to me,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Because you and I,
I'll bet it is gratifying, right? I mean, he's just in there making him squirm, which is great.
haven't spent too much more time now than you forced Tori Stafford to spend in your car. You could have let her out anywhere along that route. You could have killed her without sexually assaulting her. And that's what I wanted to sit across from tonight. See what it's like to sit across from a guy who, when he abducts an 8-year-old girl, is so turned on by it that before he kills her, he has to have sex with her. So if you ask me why I'm sitting in this room, I'm sitting in this room for Tori. Making you squirm, putting you through some of the grief that you put her through. That's why I'm in here, Mike. And I'm having a good time. Tomorrow morning, I'll have a briefing with my officers and I'll congratulate them for 5 weeks of good work. And then we'll get our first piece of evidence. Then we'll get our second piece of evidence. Then we'll get our third or fourth or fifth or sixth Who knows how many we're going to end up with? 20, 30, 40 pieces of independent evidence. It wouldn't surprise me, based on past experience, if we don't even need Terry Lynn as a witness when this is all said and done. Because now that we know the route and we know all the ins and outs of what went on that day, everything else is going to tell the story. You are a sick puppy, Michael. This is a good day for us. Because with any luck, you'll never be free again.
You'll need that luck.
I think we're going to get lots of it.
Start counting your pennies.
Been here lots of times, but you're doing it again. You can't keep your mouth shut. Focus. Thinking about it now? Are you pissed off about the fact that this is Terry Lynn's fault? That she got one that was a little bit too old to let her go? A little bit too old that she would know what you guys look like. She'd know to tell the police what your car looks like and what you and Terry Lynn look like. Should have done it yourself. Wouldn't that be a different story? You had the balls to do this yourself. You didn't have to send a 19-year-old girl kidnap an 8-year-old girl for you. You may not be here right now. Could have covered your own tracks. That's what happened to Bernardo too.
I really don't want to cover Paul Bernardo. He's too creepy. And that other one, I mean,
You know what that girl's biggest concern tonight was? That was being interviewed? The part that I caught? She wanted to make sure she could get into her car. She got tickets to go to Vegas in the morning. Something tells me she's going to go home and have a long, hot shower to wash the grime off. do you think those people in that house in Guelph are gonna say? You can guess what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, first of all, they're probably gonna say, nope, don't know Mike, doesn't come around here. Then, when they find out, wow, you think Mike might have done this murder, do you really think they're gonna be Big Mike supporters then? Do you think they're gonna keep the faith and say, no, let's lie for Mike? I don't think so. It's pretty hard to find support when that's the kind of thing you're accused of. People tend to tell the truth pretty quick. Are they gonna be liars too? This is why we don't need you to say a word, but this is why you should keep your mouth shut. Because everybody else is going to tell the story. Eight years old, Mike. 8 years old, buddy. You drug an adult, they go to the police. So you grab an 8-year-old stranger. All she wanted to do was go home and have a little party for her friends because her mom just redecorated her room for her. That's pure evil, but and that's all I've seen for the last 3 hours is pure evil from you.
Can you be pure evil if you're allergic to mushrooms? I mean, doesn't sound very badass, does it? No onions, they make me nauseous. Yeah. It's not spicy, is it? You know?
And as much as that guy from behavioral sciences wanted you to get all weepy and say, oh, poor me, the oxys, my poor grandmother, my poor mother, you don't give a shit about them. You don't give a shit anybody but you. And that's exactly what the judge is going to see. Because when the Crown Attorney calls the biologist to testify to the hair, the skin cells, the semen that was found on Tori, and the blood and the skin cells of Tori that was found in your car, and they're going to play the video where you say, you're never going to find my DNA on Tori. You're never going to find Tori's DNA in my car. That's what you are. No remorse, no empathy, no nothing. You're just hollow. nice thing about the place you're gonna be spending a good chunk of your life is they actually have glass cells. So you and Bernardo can make googly eyes at each other all day, whatever you guys do in there. So it's nice meeting you, Mikey. Enjoy the rest of your life. This is the kind of room you're gonna be spending it in.
This is the kind of room you're going to be spending it in. This small 8x10. Nice big sigh there. But he's glad to have the room to himself after that. Now get him a cinnamon bagel with lots of butter, toasted. He's probably thinking, where's that other nice cop with my meal? I wonder what it'll be. I told him no mushrooms, no onions. So what does that leave? He said something about bacon and eggs, but I don't think that's going to fly, given it's 11:30 at night. Imagine that, huh? Nice little bistro next to the police department. Officer Chris runs out, gets him. You know what would be nice? Mozzarella, basil leaves, and tomato slices on ciabatta. With a pesto dressing. Oh. God, I wish I had that right now. Is he not wearing any socks? But he's got horrible feet. Rapist feet. Now he looks like he's in a hazmat suit. Hey, pull up your big yellow pants. Sort of like a bouncy castle when it's deflated. Oh, no, I don't want to think about children jumping on top of this guy as if he were a bouncy castle. That's just, no, it's the wrong way to go. Is no one coming back in? Oh, they're just going to come and get him out. He must be starving, hasn't eaten since noon.
Michael, you're gonna go back in your cell now, okay?
Yeah, no food. We'll bring you a bologna sandwich.
You got a snack there that you want to take with you, or
in the morning.
cookie? Yeah, that's fine.
A cookie? Fucking hell, come on.
Okay. Back this way.
I hope there's broken glass in it. And stinging nettles. A stinging nail cookie. Exactly what he deserves. And that's it. I wonder how much that trash can's worth now. You can buy it at auction. $500,000, but Canadian dollars, so, you know, whatever that means. Interrogation rooms really hold the energy after everyone has left, don't they? Even the placement of the cups. You could read the energy of the room through the cups of tea and how they're placed on that desk. It's quite a nice desk. Nice old writing table. That tabletop, one solid piece of elm. Canadian elm. Not like that door. Look at that door, all retrofacted. You know, fake word, not. So, well, I think we'll come back to what happens next. What time are we? 2:41. And his accomplice, Terry Lynn, ended up going to an ultra-low security prison specially for indigenous natives. Ooh, where they have special tribal ceremonies. Sounds nice. I wouldn't mind sitting on my ass all day, smoking mushrooms and collecting government checks. Seemed like a pretty lax deal. Sweet deal for her, right? You can either go to prison or you can go to live in a teepee. Smoke a peace pipe. Carve a birch bark canoe. Learn a trade. A native trade, right? They're all dying out, aren't they? The trades. Even the Eskimo, they're saying, oh, kids today, they don't know how to fish, they don't know how to ice fish. They don't even know how to cut a hole in the ice and fish. Yeah, well, what's that bit? The other cop that comes in, we'll just briefly...
For weeks, the jurors in Michael Rafferty's trial have heard the evidence, much of it difficult to listen to. Tonight, they are sequestered, beginning to decide if Rafferty murdered 8-year-old Tori Stafford. Canadians, too, have heard about that evidence, but until now, many disturbing details about Michael Rafferty have been kept from the jury and from you. Tonight, we can show them, including newly released videotape of a police interrogation in which we hear from the accused himself. The CBC's Stephen D'Souza has covered the trial extensively and has the details for us tonight from London. Stephen.
Peter, they're sifting through the evidence from 62 witnesses, 190 exhibits, but there's a lot the jury didn't see. The jury saw Michael Rafferty every day of the trial, but heard from him just once in a brief audio clip of a police interview.
That's a blanket for you there? Okay.
They didn't see or hear this videotape of a full police interrogation the night he was arrested. It shows Rafferty's initial denial.
I didn't do anything.
Well, that's not entirely true.
That is entirely true. I didn't do anything.
It also shows the detective comparing him to one of Canada's worst serial killers.
Am I sitting across the desk from Paul Bernardo here? Am I sitting across from someone who's made a mistake? Okay? And that's going to be the question that's asked of you. All right? I'll get you a bucket there just a second. If you gotta get sick, pull your boots there. Okay? I've seen it before. You're not going to offend me or bother me. So if you got to be sick, Mike, go right ahead.
And it shows a dramatic confrontation between Rafferty and Terry Lynn McClintock, the woman who was accusing him of killing Tori Stafford.
This is your opportunity.
I don't know if I'd call it a dramatic confrontation.
Terry Lynn's sitting right here. Tell her she's a liar. You've had no problem at saying without her in the room.
Terry's a liar.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping.
I'm not even looking at her.
I don't need to look at her.
The Crown chose not to show this tape to the jury, but there was other evidence the judge didn't let it use because it went to Rafferty's character, and that's not allowed in Canada. Observers say that means the jury didn't get the whole story. A troubling picture of Rafferty did emerge in testimony, but it doesn't show how a ladies' man could progress into someone who allegedly raped and murdered a child. Observers say what the jury didn't hear could fill in those blanks. The jury heard how Rafferty spent a lot of time surfing online dating websites, but it didn't hear that when he wasn't on dating sites, Rafferty was searching for child pornography. Among the search terms police found underage rape and real underage rape pictures.
Are you on your way to school? Well, come on, I'll give you a ride.
They also found the movie Gardens of the Night on Rafferty's computer about a blonde 8-year-old girl who was kidnapped and sexually abused.
This would make us so close.
Also on the laptop, Carla, the 2006 movie about Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka. That was downloaded more than a month after Tori's disappearance.
I like this one.
So why didn't the jury hear any of this? The information came from Rafferty's laptop found in his car. Investigators had a warrant to search the vehicle, but they didn't have one to search the laptop's contents. It was ruled in pretrial motions that police violated Rafferty's privacy, and the evidence was thrown out. In the final weeks of the trial, the Crown tried to use an exception to get just the internet searches included into evidence. But because the defense never made Rafferty's character an issue, and he never took the stand, they were denied.
History has shown us that using character to decide whether someone actually committed the offense being prosecuted or not is a bad gauge. It's not.
That's some of the evidence the Crown couldn't get in, but there was a lot of other evidence the Crown felt was just too prejudicial and decided not to introduce at all. The jury didn't hear about another internet search, the best program to download child porn. They also didn't hear from all of Rafferty's ex.
Just when you thought he couldn't get any better, huh? What is the best program to download child porn? I mean, if you can even type that out, seek help. I mean, fuck's sake, Jesus Christ. What is that?
Girlfriends, some of whom told police they had
And he doesn't look right, does he? There's something in his eyes. There's like, all I see when I look at his face is, I have a dark secret and nobody can know. If you know, you have to die. I mean, he's just one of those, isn't he? Stay away from people like this, everybody. They're no good, okay? Even, just cross the street.
Concerns about his behavior towards their children. There were also allegations Rafferty had raped a woman he met online in January 2009.
Another one. He's got they type his name in, it just goes immediately. Date rape allegation. They bring it up in an interview. He's like, those are alleged charges. Only alleged. Got another rape case. I mean, fuck. His internet search history. And what did he do? Blame Oxycontin. What's that got to do with anything?
But it was deemed consensual and no charges were laid. When it comes to what does and doesn't end up in a trial, it can be easy to second guess.
I think we have to step back as a whole. These people are doing their jobs at the end of the day, and if everyone did their jobs right, then justice will be served.
Now, the jury has retired from...
Well, not always. We're going to have a look at a case in the daytime tomorrow. Just a quick run through some body cam footage of a possible murderer who was found not guilty, so technically is not guilty of murder, right? But I don't know, there seems to be an obvious conclusion that maybe he just managed to get away with murder. And is now just loose and cannot be charged. I mean, we'll be checking that out tomorrow. In the daytime, I think maybe we'll try 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's going to be good.
For the night, and we'll be back here tomorrow at 9 to continue to decide Michael Rafferty's fate. Peter.
All right, Stephen, thanks very much. Stephen D'Souza reporting to us tonight from London.
Okay, well, thank you, Stephen D'Souza, and thank you, everybody listening to the show. We have got some fucking stuff coming out soon that is going to rock the world. Okay? That's why we've been a little quiet recently. We have big shit going on, big projects, so please do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Like, share, leave a comment. And come back tomorrow, 1 o'clock lunchtime special, Eastern, 1 o'clock Eastern, around that time. I'll post in the morning. Keep an eye on Discord, keep an eye on Twitter, but don't keep an eye on Facebook because we bend it. Fuck off, Facebook. I'm so glad to be out of that. What a waste of time. Every time I try and use it, nothing works. It used to be this like thing that seemed like it would never go away, right? Remember, God, it's almost 20 years ago, isn't it? Remember all that time ago when Facebook was there, and then it was really there, and then it was everywhere, all at once. You couldn't go anywhere or do anything without checking Facebook, and now, I don't know. It's horrible, and it feels tacky, you know? Don't go on Facebook. Leave Facebook. Join us on YouTube, though, and join us on Twitter, because that is the platform of the future, everybody says. I don't know. I think I'll build my own platform. Metrics.com, but I'm saving that pleasure for retirement. Anyway, come back tomorrow, guys. Thank you for coming this evening. Have a great night. Safe drive home. Always wear a belt and drive the speed limit, especially around schools and hospitals. Don't commit a crime, and don't... what else should you not do? Don't commit a crime, and don't... You know... Don't snack too much during the day. I know it's tempting. I know that there's often a call for some kind of comfort in the monotony of your day, but don't reach for sugars and trans fats. You can do better. Carrot batons, celery sticks. Good night. Oh, where's our new jingle?